Okay. You have Alderon. You have Timaeus. You have. Where are you doing this?
At my house.
At your house. Okay.
This is the next day.
Yeah. Is this while I'm in Tamarin with?
Yes.
Yeah. It's during
You're away.
Yeah.
This is the thing I didn't tell you about.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
We have
This is why I was-
Elerina. We have Sarlo.
Sarlo.
I believe Gabriel is also coming.
Okay, Gabriel. You have Alderon. You have Sarlo. How are you positioning her?
Presumably, I'm letting her sit down in a chair.
In a chair. Okay.
You're gonna let me?
So she's not, gonna crumple to the floor or anything. So she's sitting in something that would keep her secure, basically like an armchair.
You've got Theraline in a chair. It is a comfy chair, one that she should not, explode out of or be floated up out of by demonic influence or anything like that.
Or hit anybody in the head with.
Or hit anybody in the head, or smash it to flinders on anybody else.
Unless you're mean to me.
Yeah, and you are in position to do your thing. Sarlo's armoring up, and
So do I in my own way.
Gabriel, and everybody is
Prepared.
Has this ever
prepared.
worked before?
We've never done it before. Actually, I've done it one time, but in a single instance.
Have
Yes.
you ever successfully done the surgery before? We've never even attempted it before.
You see, we
Failed at it before either.
100% success rate.
we've done it on what, like 1/30th of the size,
Yeah, I
Once.
did it on a single person.
and it
once.
sucked.
So,
Staggeringly similar. Not
yeah.
How did I get
Get
here?
it going.
What did I do to deserve this?
Okay.
You'll find out. You'll
You
remember.
dealt with a shadow. I'm just kidding.
So, effectively, the complex. Normally we would say anything she wants to do unless she's not rolling a 20. Yeah. But she is going against things that were designed by something on her scale.
Right.
So it's more or less an even playing field
Okay.
between her and that. This is effectively the beginning of a surgery. You've got the scalpel before the first cut. So if you would give me, let's see how things start out.
I rolled a 12, so I missed it by 2, I would assume.
Okay. You begin probing. Anyone else, you'd be like, yeah, there are scars here, but you know what you're dealing with, and you lightly begin to work around, behind, underneath, and you identify 6 specific points of scarring. Almost the 4 of the 6 are upper back. The other 2 are lower back. But you're working on the song as a whole, so it's not an issue of access. And you know that you're dealing with more than 6, so it's a question of differentiation. Initially, as you're working with it, the scars do their best to be just scars, and it's like clearly you're here for something else. However, as you continue working on them, there's a point where she's not going away.
I rolled a 708, so I didn't quite critical.
Didn't critical, but you definitely, at that point, you're like, okay, no. And you get differentiation. Which, more or less, it's like you've got the beetle by then you lift up, the wings are exposed. It's, And at that moment, then it reacts. And when it reacts, they all react.
So she's attempting to actually seize hold of multiple points at the same time and basically try to do simultaneous action to all of them in order to create disunity in the collective, so to speak. To try to pull at the same time and see if she can upset it in a sense. I rolled a 3.
You succeed. Wow, you definitely upset it. And Probably.
Oh, it's bad
It's
now.
trying to act as one, and so she's trying to pull
Right.
at it so that different ones obviously look distinct and are being treated differently.
Give me either a perception or resolution roll, whichever's better.
She beat it by 6.
Okay. They break into 5 different, basically, most of the virtual creations disengage from her song at that moment.
Okay.
You've succeeded to get them to.
Right.
They're not working as a single cohesive element. However, they are working in groups. And at that point, you know that you're not the only person being attacked,
Right.
because they separate and go.
Right.
Not everything leaves her.
Right.
You actually, at this point, you have 3 of these things that are actively attempting to latch onto your song. You can go. I'm letting you have the first initiative at this point, so you may attack. You seize one. What is your will? What are you doing to it?
I am basically tearing it apart.
It has a structural song, so you can.
I am saying song be no more.
You are breaking the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You have it. Break it.
Okay. So is that another roll?
That's another roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not succeed.
It's resisting you. I mean, effectively at that point, you are penetrating its structure with scalpels of virtue,
Right.
cutting away at it. It is doing its best to not
Right.
surrender. Okay, the first thing that you get, perceive, is a cry. There is a shrill call that is obviously not ears. It is virtue entirely, but it is beacon summons, the whole kit and caboodle of we are here right now. And that goes out. You experience pain. You've got that. You know they're there and around, and one has successfully latched onto your song, and at that point, it is doing its level best to hurt you. For the sake of argument, we're going to say you have taken 6 hit points of damage.
Okay.
The Timaeus, Alderon, Sarlo, and Gabriel are all in action. And from a purely, reasonable analysis, you probably know how 4 guys would deal with wasps in the room. So that's the room at this particular moment is not an expression of, calm control. It's much more energetic. you have your specific issues to deal with, and it's your turn.
Okay.
You still have hold. It was not able to break free, so you still have hold.
I succeed.
It burns away.
Woo! Down.
Elerina's concern, though, is how is Theraline responding to all this? What is she doing? Because while Elerina's in pain, she's fine with that. She's looking down at what's happening to Theraline.
She is, at this point, she is more probably looking around with very wide eyes at what's going on.
But she's not, for example, doesn't seem to be in pain or attacked.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Is there, how are you acting or reacting? The room has turned into a maelstrom of badness.
That's what they look like from the outside. Honestly, probably just like, I'm gonna sit still.
Okay.
So, yeah. Elerina's physical hands are still on Theraline.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she is obviously is now more focused on herself. But
Does everyone seem to be like, I mean, obviously they're not having a good time, but like no one seems to be like dying or anything.
No one's dying.
No one's stressed, like very, everyone's really stressed.
There is stuff.
melting.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is stressful at the moment. But
so as long as she's not sensing any major problems from Theraline, she is going to move to try to attack and get rid of the next one on her.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with.
Of the other two, are both of them burrowing into her song or only one?
Both of them are burrowing.
Okay.
Ew, don't say burrowing.
She
Tell me more.
succeeds in grabbing
Also
onto the second
define
one.
that away.
Okay.
And can I roll again?
Dread coming.
She most definitely gets rid of this one.
Okay.
She beats by
And you can also give me a virtue roll at this point. Roll against virtue.
I beat it. I mean, I succeed.
There is a surge of virtue that is beyond the room we're currently in.
Meaning coming towards us or going out from us?
Coming toward.
Okay.
It's yeah. You are familiar with it.
As in a shadow?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, she does not care about the third little thing. She is turning to look at the other people. What does she see in them?
Okay, let's see. Timaeus is having issues. Alderon, he is looking toward
The same place that I see.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm looking at the rest and be like, does anybody else sense what I'm sensing? Or are you guys?
Sarlo. Gabriel is unable to. Gabriel is being outclassed at this point.
So Gabriel and Timaeus are both having problems.
They're both having problems. They're out of this. Sarlo and Alderon are both one still actively. You can see Sarlo has a pattern that is effectively caging, but at the same instant he's like,
What do I do with it now?
She looks and says, Gabriel, call Mishri now.
Thank you. I'm coming back now.
Where there was no shadow to deal with before. So.
Okay, I gotta talk to Mishri because she's got her own issues. Yeah. Who was supposed to call? Sorry, who?
Well, she looks at Gabriel. Does he seem coherent? Is her issue? If not, she will.
At this. Okay, yeah, Gabriel hears your order and he makes the call.
Okay.
Virtue roll again. There's a poor perception, whichever. I mean, in her case, it's like, why am I even asking you? Just don't roll 20.
She didn't roll a 20.
Okay.
She's fine.
You perceive, Sarlo perceives, Alderon perceives at this moment a surge in the anchor stone of Wand.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel has not finished his call yet.
Okay.
He basically going, Ministry, and you suddenly feel the anchor stone. You felt this before.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what you felt on the night at the stable.
Basically, a shutting down of the anchor stone. A surge
Something is
that-
doing a huge draw on the anchor stone at that moment, which, or simply put, Mishri's acting right now on her own. You guys haven't had to, whatever's
But do
happening.
we actually know that it's Mishri?
Yes, I guess.
I mean, yes, it would be a
This
guess,
is
but-
exactly what you felt when
Okay,
that happened,
okay.
but it could be something else. I mean,
I'm like, well,
so you feel that
But yeah, okay.
you suddenly feel the anchor stone just.
do something.
There's a huge draw. You have your personal virtue to pull off of, but the general environment is suddenly fading out.
Meaning virtue is fading out.
Virtue is fading out as the anchor stone is being.
Which also means, though, that the virtual creations are losing their.
They won't cease to exist, but
They're not going to have power right now either.
They're not going to have power either.
So she reaches down and says, Theraline, we need to leave. Let's go now. Everybody, we need to go. They're basically heading out the doors if they can.
And abruptly, the anchor stone stutters and comes back on
Fully.
fully.
I still am grabbing her hand and I'm trying to run.
Okay, you run.
Yeah.
You're in your
Basically-
living room, so
We're going out the door because
out the back door or the front. The front is where you feel the virtue coming from.
We're going away from the impending
Okay,
virtue
you were-
shadow, but we're trying. But basically, I'm grabbing her, and I'm a hospitaler. I'm not gonna run and carry her and like drag her along. I'm literally gonna pick her up and run as fast as I possibly can in a hospitaler style to Gabriel's house.
Okay.
Which means I get there really, really quickly.
Um,
It's like that moment of like, this is stupid.
yeah.
What are we doing?
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see.
Because if I have virtue, I'm using it.
Yeah. Sarlo goes. You're gone. So yeah, you've left Sarlo behind. Gabriel.
Thankfully, I don't live that far from their house.
Yeah,
But
you don't.
basically, the
Alderon.
goal is to get.
You, as you're moving, it gives you a more three-dimensional view of virtue spikes in the local area. And as you do so, you get a separation of virtue spikes. In that you realize there is a very powerful virtue spike at Gabriel's house already. And there is one that
Coming
was at
towards
the front
my
of your house.
Yeah.
Coming after you, but you're in full
So,
motion towards
I'm
them.
full motion towards the other virtue spike.
Okay.
That thing coming towards the house.
It's not voicey right now. It's more shadowy.
But is it?
It is. It's him.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's him, and it's as much expressed power as you've ever felt him putting out before. It's as though he suddenly knew you were there, and every element that he put in to work on your song suddenly cried out and was being silenced. That
Okay. Okay.
There's no one with you, but you definitely get there almost immediately.
Right.
And you are approaching Shadow.
I'm approaching Shadow, or I'm approaching her.
Yes,
Both. Okay. Yeah.
that's
I expect us all to converge in one place.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is evident that it diverged. It split itself to deal with two threats, and so you are approaching the one that was dealing with her threat. I can make a few rolls. Because life is not. Yeah, it's Now this. I should have asked this question before, but we already know the answer to it. I just haven't remember. What time of day?
We were doing it early afternoon, right after lunch, basically right after lunch.
Okay.
Because Sarlo had specifically asked for daytime.
I love Sarlo.
And so
Sarlo,
that was why we went to bed last night, and basically we ate a little lunch so that we were, not famished.
I'm
And
like,
then,
I'm going to do an exorcism later.
Yes, go Sarlo.
so yes, it's
Oh,
basically
she did.
12:30.
There's
Okay,
no way
yeah.
she
So
ate
there,
anything.
she is running in high noon sun.
Okay, you are. What's your intent as far as Gabriel's house is concerned?
I do know what she's doing.
Is to get to the door and find out where Mystery is.
Okay, you
I don't know
reach
if
the
she's
door.
inside or she's
The door.
outside.
The door looks like it was a large number of very powerful claws and dragon scale claws tore it apart.
So it's not there?
The front door is not there on the house.
Okay. Then she's going in the house.
In the
Presumably
house.
that's where she's perceiving everything that's happening.
Yeah. You break in through the door and you see Mishri held up off the ground. Her back is arched. She's in a rictus of pain. And you see where her mantle was. You can see the final fragments of the mantle, basically the virtue that made up her mantle, bleeding, burning away. Laura is down. Let's see, the other girls that would be there are in Tamarin.
Except for Pishi.
So Pishi would be there.
Pishi. Okay, Pishi. If Laura had yelled at you, run, run, run now, as a greater shadow came in through the front door, I'm curious, would you have obeyed or would you have gone after the greater shadow?
I'd have gone after her.
Part of that is that it had seized her. So, do you obey Laura and run for getting some help, or
Yeah, I would have gone to
okay?
try and find her.
So that's the situation that you see as you come in.
When she enters, does the shadow at all acknowledge her, or is it focused fully on Mystery?
It's got Mystery up, and it definitely acknowledges you. There's a it effectively turns to you, but there's multiple limbs and motion as it does so, and it is holding her up as both a basically a triumphant holding this in your face sort of thing, and also as a threat of using it as a human shield. And you have Theraline over your shoulder.
Obviously, I did not run straight into the room.
Yeah.
She basically stepped in to see, so she is still next to the door. Obviously, she has the general concern that she does know that shadows can create false perception, so she is not also completely sure that she knows exactly what she's really seeing.
Okay.
So she has some hesitancy that she may not be actually be seeing what's happening in the room. But she is going to step back outside.
Okay. It is advancing, but stepping back outside puts you in sunlight.
Yes, and she is, Also, she realizes there are people potentially coming behind her. Obviously not as fast, but she expects Alderon to potentially be close behind her, being
Timaeus
Town Knight.
really fast too.
If he wasn't, having problems with shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But
having,
so that's the thing. I don't know what the problem they're having.
they're having their own set of issues here.
Because I do know that there was a shadow coming towards the house when we left it. So it could have caught them. So
It speaks and says, "Do you want the girl?"
Do you want the girl?
You for her. You for her. And Mishri cries out as it holds her up. Its grip tightens. It is her her spine is being bent back. Could you give me a con roll, Mystery? Could you give me a roll, please? Actually, you can give me 3 rolls at this point.
3 rolls?
Yeah.
Should I tell you each one as they happen?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, well, that's.
So I'm awake.
You're awake. You're awake. You're not. Spine is not breaking, so that's an upside. There's an upside. And you're awake for the experience.
Okay, 287.
287. Okay.
1555.
Thank you. Oh, did that come out loud?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't do worse than that.
No.
1564.
Yeah.
It's not worse than that.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Sir.
So.
Thank you.
Old one, I have heard of you. You want the young one to live. You for her.
What would you do to me? Kill me?
Mayhem.
And then what would you do to her as soon as I am dead?
She is already broken and is no longer a threat to me. But you are. I'll let them both. I will leave that one. Leave her alone. I will leave her alone. But in exchange for you.
David, does Elerina have any sense that there's actually anything she could do against the shadow? I don't know personally if in her capacity what she could actually do.
Against a shadow, Ellery's confident it would be an even fight.
Okay.
She is not.
I know it's but that is the thing.
However,
does she literally have anything she can do here other than be like, kill me? Because I truly don't know anything that she can do.
The situation is nightmarish.
Yeah. So it's like, no matter what happens, he's still going to keep killing people.
He's a shadow. You can't trust him.
And that's the thing. She doesn't trust his deals at all.
Yeah.
It's not like she doesn't care about Mystery, but she doesn't trust him at all. And so she's just like, but I don't know anything that I can do other than run. And run to what?
Against a straight shadow, you are confident that you could harm it you could defeat it.
Okay.
But you also know that this is something very, very big. You've never seen anything, you haven't been tested against something at this level before. But it would be a horrific fight, and it's possible you would simply be destroyed. However, what is certain is that it is about to kill Mystery. And Mystery, could you give me another Constitution roll?
28.
Oh no.
Oh.
I will give you an action before.
How far is it from me?
It is about 8 feet away.
Honestly, I have no idea what to do. Give me the girl, and we will face each other. She stays over here with Theraline. I need to make sure she's actually going to live.
It puts her on the doors, basically right at the edge of shadow.
Okay.
This is the old East German bridge thing. You have to come within range of it to
She
do
does.
that.
She comes, she's basically trying to come and obviously she's not going to reach but she's going to grab whatever she can get because she needs to make sure she's not already dead because that she's not going to die. She needs
I gave you the answer before that roll took place.
Okay. But her point is she needs to
you could tell she was at the breaking point of that.
And so if she's already
gone, breathing.
Yeah.
She's breathing. She is unconscious, but she's breathing. She fainted from the pain.
Okay. But yeah, but the thing is, as she's basically trying to reach and pull her away, make sure that she's stable enough that she's not going to say die right behind Elerina. And so if she needs some healing, she's basically going to do it as she tries to move her, or she does move her.
I had 943, 1815, and 1901.
Beautiful. 1901. That's
Yeah.
Did you give me a d20 roll for that 19?
No. 9.
Thank you.
Why couldn't you roll that? I rolled a 9 earlier.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's middling, so.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So she's grabbing her, pulling her into the sun.
You pulled her into the sun.
Because she had put Theraline down at a distance.
Theraline is in the
she's
sun.
basically picking her up to move her over there, and in the process is assessing if she needs healing in order to be.
She obviously was. Yeah, she was physically mistreated, but has not sustained trauma harm. However, the main thing that you know is that her mantle clearly has been clawed apart. It's gone at this point.
Completely.
She's going to need a new mantle.
Which I do not have the capacity to do it. You have to have mage to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So she is, as far as I can tell, she's stable. Okay. Theraline, I have to go fight. Please take care of Mystery.
You can't. That's him. He can't. He won't let you.
It's either Mystery dies or I do. At least that's how he figures it. There are things worse than death. Remember that. She turns back.
You walk in. 3 die rolls, please.
Lord. 11, 19, 4, 87, 12, 45.
You walk in. You pass through the doorway into shadow. You see Laura dead on the floor. You feel the surge of virtue, and your own defenses go up.
Well, I mean, they already were.
Yeah,
she was fully.
This is one of those things of more or less you're walking forward to lay your hands on a greater shadow.
Yeah.
Your hand touches it, you perceive so many voices. And you realize what you are looking at. And at that point, you feel a hand on your lower back. And the third virtual creation shatters. You're currently standing in your house. Theraline is beside you, eyes white. Sarlo is burning out the last virtual creation that's there.
I hate you so much.
Alderon is currently Gabriel's on the ground like this, and Alderon is above him, destroying the last on him. And you perceive at that moment that the moment you turned away from fighting the virtual creations, from that point on, you aren't actually in the fight. Theraline is beside you. And you know there's only one remaining in this room at this point. One of the virtual creations remaining. The 16th. Still on her.
I turn back and go after it.
Come here,
She succeeds.
Go.
Can you grind
Now
something under your feet?
Okay, you've got it. Can you break it? It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Please say it was squealing in pain.
It gives you a satisfying crunch as you burn it free. Theraline, you're standing up because you had to stand up to go after her. And for a moment, the two of you just look at each other. And then her eyes dilate. And she gives a scream, a wail of absolute loss and horror and terror. And then the next instant it's cut off and she drops motionless.
Which she had already reached forward to catch her.
Okay,
as
you
soon as-
grabbed
So
her.
she basically is holding her like that.
She is unmoving. She's a ragdoll in your arms.
She slowly tries to revive her to see if she can.
Her song is not, she's not dead. But it is absolutely unstable. It's the chords, the tonalities are all chaotic.
She reaches out with her own song and actually weaves it into Teraline's
That's
song
called-
in the sense. I'm not doing the other thing, and I know.
That's called dreamcasting if you actually weave them together.
It's more that she is putting, she's in a sense playing the music for Theraline. She's trying to give, and she's trying to harmonize her song to try to give Teraline's song like a balance, something that's stable. So she's not actively weaving the two together, it's that she's trying to basically let her hear a constant song and try to help the music come back into sync with
Give me a roll amazing.
I rolled a 6.
Six,
That's not
so
amazing. I don't know what I'm rolling against, but I don't know. It's amazing.
She remains unconscious.
Okay.
She feels very far away. She, apart from you doing anything else of something spectacular, she does not wake up that day. She won't wake up the next day. She won't wake up the next day. She may never wake up. Sarlo, they are picking themselves up. Gabriel and Timaeus had their own experiences. Alderon and Sarlo were really, Alderon and Sarlo is what turned the tide for those. Everybody feels like they've run a marathon.
When they are no longer, in distress, she would actually ask Timaeus if he could try to help her with Theraline. So she's not gonna stop trying to see if she can take basically various people's help to try to find stability for her. Obviously, she doesn't know what's going to work. So that's where she's like, if there's multiple people,
Timaeus,
if there's-
Timaeus works with you. This is like trying to grab something that is in so much constant chaotic motion. It's like trying to build a house in an earthquake. What you were doing originally, it's like he can't argue against. If you want to give her the stability, your initial what you did at first was the best that you could do. The only way to do it better is to actually weave your songs together. You don't do it very often. It is basically it is something that you can do with coma victims. You weave your song into theirs, and at that point you're in a position. The two of you are sharing the same mental space. And at that point, you're able to interact with whatever it is that they're having to deal with.
Okay.
It is a it's very rare. People don't like doing it in
I
general.
don't like doing it.
So she's gonna have to like go into her mind palace, basically.
Yeah.
I guess you could describe it that way.
Well,
Right.
then if she tries a couple times by herself and with Timaeus and it doesn't work, she will eventually do that.
That will be next episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah, and we'll
But that is
from your best read of the situation, her song is fundamentally destabilized,
it's not because it's not coming back at
Right.
all.
and so this is it's the normal circumstances. The end is she would collapse into coma and she would die of thirst or die of dehydration or of hunger, and die. Great. You could put her on an IV drip. All that does is extend the circumstance because
And it's not. Yeah, we would
her
still
song is
obviously-
not improving.
Right. In the time that we are trying to work on it, we would obviously be making sure she's getting nutrition and liquids and such. But if it's not working, then that's the only option. And she is not afraid.